Hi there, wormies. Have you ever gone to therapy and thought, my, what a waste of time? What am I even going to talk about for an hour? Does anyone ever get anything out of this? Most therapists are unfamiliar with working with autistic clients, and the therapy techniques they learned in school that work great with their neurotypical clients are at best ineffective for neurodivergent minds, at worst harmful. That's why you should consider a life coach for adults on the autism spectrum. Welcome to my channel. You've come to the right place to be your authentic, weird, and wormy self. I'm Hannah, and I'm joined by my very hairy cat, Katla. I have autism and ADHD, and I make weekly videos rating the representation of neurodiversity in the media so you can make an informed decision on what to read or watch. So hit that like and subscribe button to join the neurodivergent bookworm family and never miss out on my latest recommendation. A therapist is someone who explores deep emotional trauma to uncover why you're behaving a certain way and helps you to heal emotionally. A life coach, on the other hand, is a problem solver and a sounding board, someone who teaches you new skills for success that works with your strengths and helps you to navigate confusing, complicated situations. A life coach should never tell you what to do. A good coach's job is to help you make the choices you want to make with the top priority of helping you make wise and safe decisions along the way. When working as a team, a coach, therapist, psychiatrist, and other healthcare and support workers offer greater benefits to their client than working separately. Life Coaching for Adults on the Autism Spectrum was written by Jacklyn Hunt, who from a young age realized she had the gift of feeling others' emotions and that people naturally felt drawn to tell her their stories. Following her passion, she began studying psychology at Rutgers University in New Jersey. However, she found that the techniques she was learning in class did little to help her in her relationship with her husband, who she later realized was on the autism spectrum. Her classes offered only brief overviews of the condition. Disillusioned with her psychology courses, she dropped out to pursue multiple autism certifications from the International Board of Credentialing and Continuing Education Standards. Today, Jacklyn holds the Advanced Certified Autism Specialist Level 2 and has started her own life coaching business where she teaches real life skills, including social skills, independent living, college career development, executive functioning skills, and so much more. Jacklyn Hunt wrote this book to paint a picture of what autistic adults experience so that the average person can understand and provide support to help them succeed. Life coaching for adults on the autism spectrum is divided into three parts. Part 1 for the ASD adult, Part 2 for the coach, and Part 3 for parents and professionals. It concludes with a list of online resources, a sample resume, cover letter, monthly budget, time management journal, daily life plan, and a friendship pyramid. Each section begins with a foreword written by a person from that particular demographic, such as an autistic adult in part 1, a coach in part 2, and a parent in part 3. It was so hard to choose which quotes to talk about, so I wouldn't end up reading you the whole book. But I want to highlight 6 points in this video. One of the first she makes is a call to shift away from focusing on students' academic achievement to their social achievement. The biggest priority most schools and parents have is a child's academic achievement. I believe this focus should be shifted for all students to a social precedence. The biggest predictor of success in life is not your academic ability, rather, it is your ability to interact with society effectively. The ability to relate to and connect with people is what gets us opportunities in this world. I could have all of the knowledge in the world, but if I could not communicate that knowledge to prospective clients, I would fail as a life coach. Similarly, if I had all of the mathematical knowledge in the world, it would not matter in terms of my career if my boss found it to be easier to communicate with someone who had lesser math knowledge. The social and communicative aspects are just as, if not more valuable than the academic. What this means is that high schools must begin incorporating social classes and opportunities for all students, not just those on the spectrum. Everyone is struggling socially these days in a world taken over by social media, text messaging, and a lack of proper one-to-one and group communication opportunities. Now, I don't believe this should be a push to make autistics appear more normal and masked to fit in with society. Not at all. It's more about being aware of the different communication styles and rules. For example, if you were going to a different country, wouldn't you research the culture of that country so that you wouldn't make social faux pas and you could understand a little bit better? And it should go both ways. Both autistics and neurotypicals should be taught and should be aware of the different communication styles of each other. What I didn't like, however, was at the end in her husband's afterword, he says, "Personally, I have spent a lot of time over the years identifying and eliminating any traits that I had that would have put me on the spectrum as a child and evolved socially over time. I believe that continuous improvement and communication apply to all situations neurotypicals and spectrum individuals face alike. Over the years, I have improved communication within my business and in my personal life, relationships, and with family. Many of the techniques described and explanations of how different people think can be used to improve communication for both autistic and neurotypicals. This works for everyone." And I truly believe that everyone needs to have these communication skills opportunities, and everyone needs to seek to improve. But it should be to the level of an immigrant. You may never fully be able to integrate yourself, and you should never lose who you are at all, but you should be comfortable interacting with anyone, neurotypical or autistic, giving people the benefit of the doubt and just having an awareness of different ways of doing things and why someone might say or do a certain thing will go a long way in helping you to be more patient with that person. Because, well, you don't get mad at a foreigner usually when they're obviously a foreigner and they don't know. It might be something funny, or even if it's offensive, you just learn to take a step back and go, they're a foreigner. They probably don't know that's rude in this country. And you can take a step back, breathe, get over it, and go back and explain and help them to understand better so that they don't make that mistake again. One of those cultural and communication differences between autistics and neurotypicals is body language. Autistic people often struggle to read body language, and many on the spectrum feel that neurotypicals communicate via telepathy and they're left in the dark. Well, it isn't telepathy. It is simply a form of nonverbal communication. Posture, limb positioning, leaning forward or back, scrunching up or stretching out tells us so much about a person and what they want the world to see. Often an adult with ASD doesn't notice these cues in others. And because of their tendency to confound things more, they often use mismatched body language to their own internal state, causing others to misinterpret or make assumptions about the ASD individual that may not necessarily be true. For instance, someone who avoids eye contact, crosses their arms, and lowers their brow is usually desiring to avoid conversation. Most adults with ASD are starving for conversation and company, but they are inadvertently sending off a nonverbal signal that keeps people away. Then they make the assumption that no one wants to speak with them, when the reality is they send a signal that keeps people away. This is just one example of many possibilities. What we need to do is teach and provide adults with ASD thorough and complete training on nonverbal communication skills to empower them to have more understanding and control of any potential social situation. Now, you may have heard the quote, be yourself, but in my experience, be yourself is for everyone else, not me. Because if I'm myself, it seems like people don't really like me. And I'm always taking on bits and pieces of personality from here and there, trying to figure out what people want me to be. And I realized I had no clue eventually who I was anymore. Who am I? What do I like and want? She speaks to this and says, some people take longer than others to figure out their truest self. Those on the spectrum often work very hard to discover and understand the rules of society. My rules are simple. We are who we are as long as we do not break society's laws. Not just any laws, but the big ones. No murder, no assault, no violence, no stealing, and never intentionally harming another person. Be who you feel you are, even if it goes against society's rules, just as long as you respect basic laws. Trust your gut. This is something I tell all of my clients. Your gut or instincts are intact. Society may disagree with your instincts. Your mind and body may struggle with processing speed and accuracy, but your gut knows who you are as a person. It may take some time to learn how to communicate that to yourself and others, but you will get there. It is important not to be afraid of that. There is room in society for everyone. Now, you may feel like there isn't room for you in society and that everyone has just passed you by, but that's no excuse to give up on yourself. The main idea and theme of this book is continually taking some sort of action to move forward. Do not allow yourself to remain stuck. If you remain stuck, everyone else around you continues to advance. So when you stay the same, you inadvertently fall further and further behind your peers because they are continually moving forward. The longer you let this go, the more difficult it becomes to catch up. Seek out answers when you are at an impasse, and you shall receive many possible solutions to help keep you moving in the right direction. Struggle a lot with self-esteem and are extremely sensitive to any kind of rejection, perceived or real, because it has happened to us so many times in the past that even if we do take the courage to try sometimes and we fail, it can be so easy to say, all right, I'm not good enough. I'm a total failure and I shouldn't have even tried. And in the job hunt, especially, this is true. And I understand when she says, frequently, very talented clients get highly discouraged when they go on a job interview, seemingly do well, and then do not get any feedback or offers. For many on the spectrum, self-confidence is often a struggle. Not getting an offer can feel like rejection and a failure. The reality is that we are not perfect, and there is always someone more skilled than we are who may have also gone on that job interview. For instance, I consider myself a highly skilled life coach. However, I also realize that there are numerous people in this world who are better and more knowledgeable than I am in this field. This does not make me feel bad about myself. Instead, I realize that I can hold my own, and as long as I do the best that I can with the talent I have and the hard work I put into everything I set my mind to, I am doing well. Sometimes I get chosen to work with a client, and other times another professional is a better fit. It is the same concept when going on a job interview. You may be amazingly talented and hardworking, but there simply might be a better fit for that company. it is important to see that this is not a personal rejection, but rather a decision by that company to go in another direction. The point of this example is that not all rejection is equal. As long as we don't give up our job search and work through rejections in a healthy manner, which are a normal part of all aspects of life, we will eventually find the right place of employment. I had to go as far as to create my own place of employment, and that is acceptable too. And I believe that these tips for dealing with rejection on the job hunt also apply for romantic relationships and vice versa for the points I am about to read now. First, we need to work on ourselves, our own ultimate relationship, before we can truly build a healthy and rewarding romantic relationship. We also have to realize that we do not attach ourselves to the first person we date or the first person that gives us attention. We need to be picky and take our time. Relationships can't be built in a day, at least not intimate, healthy relationships. If you want something long-term and sustainable, you need to take your time and be picky about who you choose as a potential romantic interest. You also have to remember that the choice must be mutual. So, whether you are looking for a spouse, someone that you can live the rest of your life with and be happy, or you are looking for a job where you can feel fulfilled and it isn't eating your very soul, and you're able to do an excellent job and fit well with the company, these tips are excellent. Don't rush anything, and try not to let black and white, all or nothing thinking stop you from making careful decisions. Everything is about a balance. You can either take too much time deliberating about a situation and possibly lose out on it, or you can not deliberate at all and rush things too fast. Neither extreme is helpful at all in achieving your goals. Overall, I rate life coaching for adults on the autism spectrum a 4. I believe it is a great resource for anyone working with autistic people in some capacity. And I appreciate how Jacklyn Hunt breaks down the skills and provides examples from her own clients. These are skills I want to use in my own life, as well in my own coaching and therapy practice. I even use them to a certain degree now with my neurodivergent peers. It brings me the greatest satisfaction to see people achieving their goals once they've been given the right tools they need for success. Have you ever tried life coaching for neurodivergent individuals? What was the most useful thing your coach ever taught you? Let me know down in the comments so we can all learn something new. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like and share. And if you're interested in more neurodiversity media content, then click here to see my latest review. Don't forget to comment what you would like me to review next and subscribe so you don't miss my latest recommendation.